Hi everyone! In today's video, I wanted to create a double spread beach layout or beach themed layout. Oh, I'm so sorry, that's my kitty. And I wanted to use some of this new paper I had from Simple Stories. It's a couple of their like newer beachy collections. So this page is from the Sunny Days collection. The flip side are these beautiful polka dots. And then there's this like lined pink paper that's from Just Beachy, and I think these are all current collections that they have going on. I bought these all off of scrapbook.com. And then this is an Echo Park paper called Have a Great Summer. It actually also has like bathing suits, etc. on the flip side, but I'm thinking I want to combine this like darker blue with the pink and then these bright colors. And then I was kind of going through my stash and I found this one. This is from a Stampin' Up collection. I think it's the Unbounded Beauty collection, which was from prior year, but I really loved this like orangey faded paper that's in here, and I feel like it fits really good with the pattern paper. I'm not like too sure yet which, like I do want to have like kind of three main colors and then incorporate either the pink or the purple or the orange, but I'll kind of just go with the flow and see once I get there. So I'm just going to scooch all this over and take our Versamats and pop these down right here. All right, so I have my white cardstock down on my two Versamats. I'm sorry for the kitty, but I just got home from work, so he's just gonna, you know, he's gonna be a little bit affectionate and then he's gonna do his own thing. But for the layout, I'm gonna grab our papers again. And one of the papers, of course, is kind of the focal point. It's the one with the cute little bathing suits. And because this is quite a busy pattern, I don't want any of the pictures that I'm going to show in a little bit to go over top of this paper, because that's just going to look intense. So what I like to do when I have pattern paper like this is either have it like going across the sides or at the bottom, so kind of just so it's a little bit of like a more of like a focal element, but without being distracted or kind of messy and loud with the pictures as well, so kind of have its own spot on the page. So I think I'm gonna have these at the side here, and then I'm just gonna show you guys real quick the photos I had in mind to add to this page. This was a trip we took to Hilton Head, so I just got a couple of these beautiful sea pictures, and then just a couple of pictures of me and my husband. This was like the view from the hotel. It was so beautiful. And I have a couple of other pictures with more like sunset and other colors going on. I definitely wanted these more like bright and happy, vibrant colors or vibrant pictures to use this paper with that. I'm just gonna move this little guy because he is being a little bit of an attention seeker here. So I'm gonna have the pattern paper here on the side, and then I definitely want to bring in some of this darker color almost to give it a little bit more of like a grounding spot. And I also like how that contrasts with this white paper. I'm gonna just scooch this all over, and then I'm just gonna move this to the side. So I'm not too sure if I want to use all of these papers as like main papers on the page, if that makes any sense. I might just want to use these like to add little tags or something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off. Also, important side note is I only have one piece for all of these papers. So if I want to bring in a little bit of this blue paper to kind of have that grounding spot, I do need to be mindful I only have that much. So I think what I want to do is maybe I'll already cut this up into, I think I want like 3-inch strips. And then I might have this paper as just like a little side piece or a little strip going down. However, I was also going through my stash, and I still have a lot of the like shimmer strips from Close to My Heart, or shimmer trims, I'm sorry. And I have this papaya and grape color, and these look so pretty with this collection as well. And I definitely want to bring that in. I love bringing in some glitter. So I'm going to scooch that over. So I'm going to start by cutting down this into a 3-inch strip. So we already know our little side strips going across. And then I'm going to see how much of this paper I'm going to cut out for the one side, and then for our other piece, also keeping in mind our photos, because we have, I think, 3 4x6 photos. So I kind of want to see, I might do like half on the paper, half off. So I'm gonna just first start off with our strips, and then we can see how we want to cut up our blue paper. As I was putting all of the papers together, I felt like the dark blue color was just a bit too busy with that pattern and everything else. So I just went ahead and took some sapphire blue color from Close to My Heart. And I'm gonna kind of have a mixed combination. So I don't want it to be like symmetrical. So on the left side, I'm gonna have just like this blue kind of thicker border around our white cardstock. And then on the other side, that you'll see it a little bit here, I'll just have a smaller piece that I'm going to adhere on top of the white, because I kind of want to do a little bit of a flip-flop idea. And when I was putting down or kind of assessing everything, I just felt like the pattern paper was just a bit too busy. I think this will create a nicer like kind of a solid color to put all our embellishments on and everything, because otherwise it's just going to be a little bit too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down all the way against the left edge of that paper. And I really like how this is just kind of like a different style, like it doesn't always have to be the same on each side. And so next I'm going to just go ahead and adhere down those strips we were talking about in the introduction. So on the left hand side, I'm going to adhere this strip down, not all the way to the edge. So I'm going to keep the blue border on the left hand side to stick out, just because I like the way that looks. But on the top and bottom, I am going to let that come all the way up against, so it's just a 12-inch strip up against the border. And then I am going to adhere some of that really cute little shimmer strip, the pink, as well as the pink paper. That pink paper I cut down to about 1 inch, and I did cut that down with this special blade I have in the Creative Memories like cutting system. You can use like different blades, and I think it's a really easy system to create just a little bit of an added interest. It's kind of hard to see on the paper, but I'll pull it up here in a minute so you can see, but it's like a little scalloped effect. I think the blade is called pinking or something like that. I'm not sure if that sounds right, but I'll show it up here in a little bit. But I think it creates a really cute little effect here. And then I have that little shimmer strip in between the pieces of paper, because I always love doing that, just to have a little bit of an extra bling. And I am going to do the same on the other side. So that is going to be symmetrical, because otherwise I think it's just going to be a little bit too much. But then I still feel like the blue, the fact that that is different from the left and the right hand side, I feel like that creates kind of just like an added level of interest. But for the rest, I am going to go ahead and just do the same layout as what I did on the left hand side. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and mat my photos. So the main photo I matted on some rosy cardstock because I like the contrast with the white background. And then the two other photos I'm not going to mat, just because I liked how that looked on the white paper there. I didn't feel like it was really necessary, especially with that one very blue photo. And then the photos on the right hand side, I'm just going to mat with some white cardstock because I liked how that looked. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Notes and Totes die set, and this creates a really, really cute little bag. And I use that cute little orange paper to cut out this bag, and I'm going to have that as like my main embellishment cluster. So I'm going to fill it up with a bunch of the dies that are part of this set. And then the blue paper I'm adding, you might recognize that's that blue paper I showed way in the beginning with the pattern, because I did like how that looked on this little beach bag. So I'm just kind of like dry fitting all of our elements to show what I'm going to adhere down. And I think what I used is a combination of this like orange paper, and then some of the elements that I'm going to put in the little bag I die cut out of some of the cloud cover paper. And then I used the little flowers that are in that stamp set just to kind of add some stamped images to the little products. Like for example, this little sun like SPF tube, I added a little sun on top of it and just cut that out of some yellow paper. But these, for me, this is just so cute. I like everything that's like miniature size. I just had so much fun cutting these out. And these cute little pink glasses, which I just cut out of some rosy cardstock and added some white paper for the rims. I think this is just so cute. In this set, you also have this 2 little seashells, which is really cute to kind of just spice up this little bag. This would look really cute for cards as well, but I'm just going to tuck this in. This one I'm just going to put on top of the little bag as like a little embellishments of the bag. And then I think that is everything. I'm just going to adhere to the bag. There's a bunch of additional elements in that set. You could add little tassels to your bag, little clips, little magazine. Like, it's super, super cute. This next die set is just a note set. I only got the dies, but it creates this really, really cute little like notepad, and you can put like little clips on it. I think it's just super cute. So that little paper clip is not an actual paper clip, it's a paper clip that I used one of the dies from the set, and I think that just looks so cute. And then the little hearts I'm adding are actually the hearts from the little sunglasses I had cut out that's in the little beach bag. So I'm just kind of recycling those just because I liked how all the colors tie in together. Then using the Happy Hibiscus set, I actually had some of these die sets left from another project. They were using the embossing folder that comes with it, so it creates this really beautiful texture. And all I did is I just color these in with some peach pie. I think it's peach pie, or it's just a peach color from Close to My Heart that I just added some water and just filled these in. For a title, I'm going to go ahead and use a thicker sticker, and I love this Love and Sunshine because it also has that kind of pink and orange color combo that we're working with on our layout right here, and I think that just like ties it all in super, super nicely. And then this Close to My Heart set, which is Cape Cod, has a really cute little stamp that's called Soaking Up the Sun, or Soaking in the Sun. And I'm just going to go ahead and Soaking Up the Sun. That's what it was. I'm going to go and add that here at the bottom, like straight to the page. And I'm going to do that in, you'll see me kind of adhere that down in a minute here, or stamp that down in Cloud Cover. Cloud Cover is one of the new in colors, and it hasn't been released to everybody. Just the demonstrators could get the full ink pad, but you can get the little blocks. It is a little bit of a hard color to use, not gonna lie, because it's very, very sheer. So anyways, then I do want to add a little bit of extra bling bling. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cover off my page, and I'm gonna use this Melon shimmer brush from Close to My Heart. Just a little bit all around the edges here, just because I'm not going to add any embellishments, but I wanted just something so it's not too white. And I'll show you guys in a minute, but I love this color. It's just so summery and cute. And I did make sure at the sides here, I kind of tapped off some of the excess because I didn't want the blotches to be too big. I just want a really very light little shimmer all around the edges of the page here. So next, I was looking through my stamp sets, and in the Ocean Friends, they have these really cute little bubbles, and I'm going to add that to the title here at the bottom in that same Cloud Cover ink, just because I felt like it was something missing in the title. All right, so I'm just going to add that to the top and the bottom, and then kind of like squash right next to the little sand bag or beach bag. Do make sure that you clean off your ink block or stamp block because you don't want it to smudge on the bag. Also, you do kind of have to hold these down quite a long time just to make sure that the ink adheres well to the page. For the sun, I even used the Stampin' Blends just to kind of fill it up a little bit better. Now, I don't know if that was the ink only or just the stamp block as well. I'm not too sure. But definitely you have to hold these down a little bit so that the color really appears on your page, and because it's a very, very soft color. So but yeah, I think it looks really, really beautiful. So I'm just going to add in one more next to the bag just so it's, you know, always kind of like doing the element of 3, and then that way it frames our sentiment really nicely. So next I'm going to add these acrylic shapes from Close to My Heart. I still have a couple of them left in this really beautiful little pink rosy color. I'm going to choose the really, really small kind of like starburst elements. I just liked how those looked throughout the page. And I just love how this is, you know, focusing on that pink and orange element. I didn't have any orange ones left, or I would have added that too. But I really like these little acrylic shapes. Now with these, I do use my Barely glue because otherwise I can't really glue these down with my glue dots. But I'm just like adding these throughout the page to a couple of our different clusters just to add a little bit more dimension to our embellishment clusters. Feel like we were missing something a little bit on the left hand side at the bottom, so I still had a couple of those hearts from the glasses that I cut out, so I'm just going to add 2 of those, a white one and a pink one, and I'm just going to add some dimensionals just so it sticks up a little bit and it doesn't lay so flat on the page. But I feel like that way it just ties in the layout a bit nicer. I felt like we otherwise had kind of like a little bit of an empty space at the bottom, but I felt like if we added something a bit too big, it would not feel balanced with the beach bag on the other side. So I like these 2 kind of like smaller elements to tie it out. So I'm just going to bring up the page here so you guys can see everything in a little bit more detail, because we got most of our embellishments adhered down to the page, and I just love how everything looks so bright and summery. The only thing I'm still going to add, which I feel like I just always need to do, otherwise it feels naked, is my embellishments or some gems. So I'm going to use these really beautiful Sunny Days gems. So it has like a little purple and pink color. Actually, it also has a really beautiful blue in that pack, but I'm just going to focus on the pink and orange, and it just looks so cute with this layout. Off camera, I also added my journaling to that little tag at the top there. I always tend to add my journaling just on some shipping labels. This is something I learned from Erin Jacobson's here on YouTube, and it's honestly the best technique or advice. And I just like how it looks because it blends so seamlessly into your layout, but then you still have your documentation on the day or the event, because my handwriting unfortunately isn't that nice, so I do really like to add that here. You could definitely also add your journaling at the bottom underneath your photos and just print it off on some white paper if you wanted to do that too. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add my last gem here to the page, and then I will pull everything up closer so you guys can see it better. But I just loved how this whole layout turned out. Super summery with a couple of die sets, the Notes and Totes, Happy Hibiscus, and Just a Note die set. You don't actually need any of the stamps if you just want to focus on the dies, because most of these are all just created with those. And I just loved how happy and summery this layout has turned out. As always, I will put the products I've used in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and check it out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've been enjoying my videos so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out a lot. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye, guys.